Nike's cage advert, R9's haircut, and Busted. Some great things of the early noughties, but not what you came here for, because I want to get into the best thing about the noughties and the best rivalry the Premier League has ever seen. United versus Arsenal between 2000 and 2005. We're talking Keane versus Vieira, Ruud van Nistelrooy versus Martin Keown, Wenger versus Ferguson. There were battles all over the pitch, in the dugout, and there was a load of backstories to go with it. It was absolutely everything, and my childhood was based on watching these games. And there were loads of rumours to go with it. Ferguson retiring in 2002 initially, and Martin Edwards, who was chairman at the time at United, was going to get Wenger in to replace him at Old Trafford. Obviously, that didn't happen, and thank God it didn't. We didn't see Wenger's coat in the Old Trafford dugout for United, but we did see some cracking games, and I'm going to get into it with my top 3 games from United versus Arsenal between 2000 and 2005. Before I get into it though, please do subscribe to the channel and drop us a like and a comment. Go on, throw one in there as well. That 5-year period of United versus Arsenal, there was 18 games. United won 7 of them, Arsenal won 7, and there were 4 draws. And between them 5 years, United won 3 Premier League titles to Arsenal's 2. So this was a rivalry that was right at the top of English football, and they were fighting on the pitch, but they were fighting for leagues year in, year out, and that doesn't happen very often. So these are my top games between that period of 2000 and 2005, and at 3, I'm going to Highbury in 2003, and it's United, Arsenal, and it's 2-2 that the game finishes. But boy was it a game. United in that away blue strip that had the silver trimmings down the side, nice baggy fit, remember it so well. Under the floodlights, and Ruud van Nistelrooy, who seemed to fit that kit so well, scored his first goal against Arsenal. I mean, Ruud doesn't get enough credit in general in terms of Premier League strikers, but especially for his pace, and he used it for the first goal of this game because he sped past both Sol Campbell and then Martin Keown and chipped it over the Arsenal keeper, who was actually Stuart Taylor at the time. I think David Seaman was ill, but it was just a great goal that I remember, and watching it as a kid that United had got this 1-0 lead at Highbury was pretty big. Ashley Cole then equalised, and I think it was deflected off from Ree that went into the back of the net. Bit of a scruffy goal for that Arsenal side, who were built as this beautiful playmaking football team, but it was 1-1. And then Thierry Henry struck, didn't he, at Highbury, like he did quite a few times against United, made it 2-1, even though, and I'm not bitter about this, he was about 4 yards offside. But it didn't matter in the end because Giggs scored a header off a really good Solskjaer cross, crossed it in almost Beckham-esque, and Giggs got his head to it, nodded it into the back of the net, and it was 2-2. And Solskjaer, who didn't always start these games, always had an impact, and he had a bit of an impact again because Sol Campbell got sent off when he threw his elbow back at Solskjaer's face, and there was a red card like there was in a lot of these games. Finished 2-2, but United were now back in control in the title race. It was a pretty big game, crunch game, and United went 3 points ahead with that win and ended up pipping Arsenal and winning the league that season in 2002-03. At number 2, we're going to go to a game of football that you will definitely remember as a United or an Arsenal fan as well. October 2004, United 2, Arsenal 0. This was Ruud van Nistelrooy's redemption. It was 13 months after the Battle of Old Trafford, that horrible game at Old Trafford, the 0-0 draw, when Van Nistelrooy could have had the chance to beat Arsenal in what ended up being their invincible season. But he missed it, didn't he? Hit the bar, and Martin Keown and all the Arsenal players in his face, and it was disgusting to see. As a United fan, you didn't like to see it. But this, 13 months later, was the game, and it had to happen. Some things in football just have to happen, and 13 months after that game, this game had to take place, and Ruud van Nistelrooy had to get a penalty. Okay, you might say that Wayne Rooney bought it off Sol Campbell as he went past him and then was quite happy to go over, let's be honest. Bit of a dive from Wazza, but you'll take it because Van Nistelrooy put the ball down on the spot and there was only one outcome. Knocked it straight to the back of the net, and then as he ran off, the celebration where he ran hands in the air and fell to his knees at the end with the whole of Old Trafford screaming his name. That was what it was all about. You could see these demons that he's almost exercised in his head over the past year and a bit since that game, and he wanted this game to come. He wanted that goal, and United went 1-0 in front. And then Alan Smith, of all people, plays the ball to Rooney to smash it in for 2-0 as well. And I was listening to the Giant podcast on Spotify that I'll link in my description below. But a story that I heard on there about this game was apparently Roy Carroll, who was in net for United at the time, found out that Arsenal had underneath their shirts a t-shirt that said 50 not out. Obviously, that would have been their 50th unbeaten game. And in the end, it was 49 and out. Arsenal's unbeaten run after the invincible season that carried on into the next season had ended at Old Trafford, and it was fantastic to see. And then it was dubbed the Battle of the Buffet because obviously Fabregas threw the pizza at Fergie, didn't he, after the game in the tunnel. It all broke out. Apparently even Wenger was getting his fisticuffs out and going for it, so it was a little bit tasty. And what you'd give to see that footage in that tunnel afterwards. That would be sweet, wouldn't it? Number 1, I've got a corker for you. It's a 6-goal thriller. It's at Highbury again in 2005. It's Arsenal 2, United 4. And this game, even though it was a cracking game on the pitch with a 4-2, it almost is more famous for what happened before the game even kicked off. The tunnel bust up. Roy Keane absolutely going at Vieira, who Roy Keane come out to say later, didn't he, that he thought the Arsenal players were trying to get in on Gary Neville. And so Keane came out defending him, was absolutely at Vieira, and then just that image of Graham Paul, the referee, trying to hold Keane back. Where he's got his captain armband on one arm and he's pointing with the other right at Vieira in his face. I know you're a nice guy. And that was before the game even kicked off. Game kicks off and Arsenal go 1-0 up from a corner. The ball in and Vieira heads it in, and you think, oh no, Vieira's won the battle here between Keane and Vieira, because they were at it before the game. The game kicks off, Vieira's 1-0. This is it. He might have won the battle, but he didn't win the war, did he? Giggs scores after a mistake from Sol Campbell. Nice little play from Scholes and Rooney. Giggs scores with a pretty deflected shot, but it gets it back to 1-1, and it's back in the game. Arsenal go 2-1 up then. It was end-to-end football. It was this pressure cooker of a game that was so hot-headed. Everyone on the pitch. No one had time on the ball or anything. It was a good move by Arsenal, to be fair, and Bergkamp made it 2-1. Then step up a 19-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo, who early on in the game actually got pushed into the advertising boardings behind the Arsenal goal, and Arsenal fans were in his ear giving it all that, who are you, all that sort of stuff. And this was early on in Ronnie's United career, but did he have the bottle? You bet he did, because he scored a fantastic strike against Arsenal to make it 2-2, and then wheeled away with a celebration of shushing them Arsenal fans. And this is the guy that, at that age, to have that confidence, absolutely ridiculous. Didn't stop there, did it, either for Cristiano, because he scored the third. It was a great move. Giggs down our right-hand side. Almunia, who was in the Arsenal net at the time, bit of a rush of blood to the head, not like Almunia, but Giggs was happy to see it, chipped the ball over, and Ronaldo was coming at the back post, fell into the net as he scored, and it was 3-2 to United. Like I said, a 19-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo coming into the game of that pressure, that magnitude, and just doing the business, just showed what character he had going forward into his whole career, really. Some great players, great goals, but the greatest of them all was the 4th goal, and John O'Shea, who to this day, that is one of my favourite goals ever. It's a through ball from Scholes, and O'Shea finds himself in a load of space, the Arsenal defence just behind him, and he gets the ball down, has a quick look up at Almunia, who's coming towards him, and then plays an ice running through his veins dink over Almunia into the back of the net. And there's a moment that as soon as it goes in, John O'Shea himself turns round and is so shocked that he has scored that goal that is worthy of a Cristiano Ronaldo, of a Ronaldinho, you name it. Any player that scores that, it's a great goal, and it had to be John O'Shea to do it. Brilliant. That's it then. The top 3 United games between 2000 and 2005 ended by John O'Shea. But like I said, do subscribe to the channel, drop us a like as well, and even a comment, and let us know what your favourite United Arsenal memories are. You might be a United fan, you might be an Arsenal fan, you might not even be either of them, but just love them games at the time and the intensity and that rivalry, especially in that early noughties period. Let us know in the comments below, and I'll see you in a bit. Nice one.